Okay,
we're starting?
guys. So I'm RMB. My hardest is Cataclysm, and I'm going for every end.
So hello guys, my hardest is still Shiver because I still suck. Um, and you already know my name because I'm tough.
Hello, guys. Wait, am I supposed to be introducing myself too?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, yeah. Hello, guys. My name is Toto, and I am jumping from Mechanical Showdown to I Sleep with My Little Sister.
That's good. That's
All
good.
right.
Mhm.
So I think this is about where we left off in the video. I'm not entirely sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very small.
Uh, I think it's actually above average.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I'm not sure where Goatis is going with this.
Mhm.
If you have any comments.
I had your stream muted, so I have no clue what he said.
He said
Um,
it's very
Let me
small.
recap. He said
No,
it's very small.
it's not very small. It's a big island. Like if I walked around it, my feet would hurt.
Massive, some might say.
I think my feet would hurt if I walked on sand because sand is coarse and rough, and I'm much
Mhm.
more acclimated to concrete and carpet than I am sand.
And also, um, too much sand can get too hard, and like it can make your feet feel uncomfortable.
But walking across the ocean is like very good for your cortisol, you know? Like
Oh yeah.
it lowers it hella.
But cortisol is bad for you. And back to the sand thing.
Yeah.
The entire reason why sand castles stick is because
Hmm.
they're laced with fear as a binder. A fear
Yeah,
of
yeah.
water. It's a primal urge.
Damn.
Well, they're like cats. They're like cats. They hate water.
We are all like
Yeah.
cats because we actually evolved from um Homo sapiens.
Damn, that's crazy.
Anyways, let's get back to this video.
You would die on this.
I whoa.
Okay. Okay. I
He's just
think
trying to spike our
he's
cortisol.
yeah, he's just like no, he is not. That is not. You would not die on here if you spent
This is
like 5
hella
days.
instigating.
I'd survive.
I would survive too. I mean, I am not smart. I'm just kidding. I'm Albert Einstein part two. So I know that with the Y and X axis of this island, I think I would be able to survive.
Just to clarify, the y-axis is the one that goes up and down, correct?
Yeah, like in Fortnite. I mean Minecraft.
And the x-axis is the one that actually goes left and right.
Pretty
I'm
sure.
left to believe.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Last time I checked.
if I personally was in this situation, unlike Joe Frazier, I'd actually I'd bring a backpack, but instead of it being filled with societal norms, I'd actually bring society with me.
And as you said in the last video, like a flute, we could use that to tame the animals. Um,
You know, I recognize the error of my ways in that. Bringing a flute is diminutive in the grand scheme of things compared to if I were to bring maybe like a water bottle and some coconuts and maybe a fire, I think I could survive much better than if I assembled a team and worked together.
Yeah. And also if you have a team, on the risk of cannibalism raises by a lot because there's more than one human, and when they run out of food, which is a higher risk because more people,
Mhm.
they need more food.
Me
Cannibalism
personally,
is gonna spike.
I would bring a cow, like humans, like Goatis says, we like to hunt, so we could just like hunt down the cows,
You
like
know,
domesticate them maybe.
I remember a famous
Yeah.
quote by Goatis. He said, "Why do you want to play basketball? Because you want to hunt.
Mm.
Why do you go outside? Because you want to hunt." I think what Joe Frazier is going to do is, I think predictions wise, he's going to try and climb one of these coconut trees to hunt for food, but he's going to scrape his leg, try
Mhm.
again, and then maybe throw something at the coconut and then finally get to fall down.
And he also like he could also fall off of the coconut tree while trying to climb it.
I think the modern ingenuity that Joe Frazier has, that he's been acclimated to in society, would try and get him to believe that using a rope of some sort will allow him to climb a coconut tree.
Yeah, he could like wrap it around one of the branches and that could help him get up. His feet might hurt if he does it at like a wrong angle, which could lead to energy loss. It could lead to your feet being severely damaged if in some cases.
You know, I think
Mhm.
coconuts are 98% saturated fat, but I think that
Mhm.
Goatis will bring up that this actually isn't the same fat that's in animal fat. If you have
Yeah,
anything to comment on, Toto.
because
Um,
saturated fat isn't as good as normal fat. Like if you an animal fat, you get nutrition, you get
You get
less hunger,
micronutrients.
you get
yeah,
micronutrients.
natural testosterone, shit like that, like the good cortisol.
That
I mean
brings us
cholesterol.
back to the age-old question. Should we wake up? Because waking up requires the spiking of cortisol.
Should we just sleep for our whole lives? Because yes, we you might think that because like when you wake up, you get more cortisol. And if
Mhm.
you lose cortisol, then that means that you're having a better life.
Me personally, I tried the sleeping way of life for about a month and a half, and I could say that when when I got off of it, it wasn't due to a lack of nutrition. It was actually I was becoming a higher being, but I wanted to stay humble, you know?
Yeah, and I could completely relate because one time I slept for about a year and a half, and I just decided to be very humble and respective to my family and my friends and wake up.
Yeah, me personally, I feel like we should all stay in bed and just LARP. Like put a green screen on our background and just like make it seem like we're at these places while we're just in bed, getting money, and that's that's about
Having
it.
a good life.
It's
Yeah,
as if
exactly.
we're downloading the societal consciousness of being productive while being immobile, which is
Mhm.
actually a very good dilemma in today's society regarding technology.
Yes. And something that Joe can't do is listen to music. So Joe might try to make his own music with like he might try to make like drums and pretend like he's listening to like some band like AC/DC, the Beatles, like something like that.
Mhm.
I honestly believe that Joe Frazier is more tapped into underground music. I
Mhm.
think, me personally, if I was Joe Frazier in this situation, I'd listen to something like maybe Lucy Bedrock. I'd try and recreate Lucy Bedrock's music, or I'd try and recreate SoundCloud as a whole on a mainframe, which I'm pretty sure he has access to as he is on an island. And I'd start SoundCloud streaming so that I could maybe get famous before the 5 days and maybe get flown out.
Me personally, if I were Joe Frazier, I would recreate Shot of Flow 3 by NLE Choppa. It would significantly lower my cortisol. Thoughts?
Yes. And with Shutterflow 3, it will make your life better because you have something to listen to and you won't go mentally or physically insane and start trying to like punch trees and kill yourself. Like you don't need to do that. Like that's a like a severe thing about listening to music. You could go mentally and physically insane.
I remember a time I went mentally and physically insane because I was actually grounded from watching Goatis. Okay. Actually, it was a
Mhm,
video called Joe Frazier. Modern slave tries to survive on an island alone.
mhm.
I'd say it's one of my comfort zones, and it got taken away from me about a year ago.
Well, I'm glad that you can watch Goatis again. And Goatis is like our main concern because like he needs to get his life better. I mean, his life is already good, but everything can be better.
Everything in moderation for Goatis, but he doesn't realize that he's also having cortisol in moderation, and he's actually spiking his
Yeah.
cortisol thereby. Let's get back into this video though. Let's see what Goatis has to say.
Island within a few weeks at most.
Pause it. I feel like Goatis is talking absolute nonsense there. I only listened to about 3 seconds of it, and my cortisol is at levels exponentially high. So I think, me personally, I'd say I'd unsubscribe and I'd watch another video. Thoughts?
On a reference scale, a cortisol reference scale of low to high, how would you rate your cortisol being spiked by that little preview statement he made?
Off the charts. If I could, I'd say a 20 out of 10. I've never been so angry in my life. I don't know if you can tell by the tone of my voice, but I am fuming right now.
Would
Mhm.
Yeah.
you would you be shooting lasers out of your eyes, hypothetically?
Hypothetically, I would have a purple background with purple lasers shooting out of my eyes.
You know,
And me personally, I've only known Toto for like I think 10 minutes. And I know a lot about him already.
Hmm.
Like this man, he has a cat as his profile picture,
Hmm.
which means that he has severe anger issues. Um, and so anything that Goda says that he disagrees, it will make him 10 times more angry, as if somebody with normal anger issues.
you
But
know,
if we look into this really closely,
if I may
cats
interrupt you, if I may
lower.
interrupt you,
You may.
we see cats as this cortisol lowering device, and that's actually in opposition to Toto's nature. I think I've known him. Um, me and him, we actually come from the same biological pathway, so we are
Yeah,
interconnected, and we've never had a differing thought.
exactly.
To put it in simple terms. And so whenever I feel Toto's anger, I can realize it's nothing I've ever felt before. As
Yeah.
even though we're severed by distance, it's kind of that metaphysical twin feeling that you can feel how your twin, brother or sister as it may be, how they're feeling their pain. And I think Toto has a lot of pain whenever his
Mhm.
cortisol spikes, and that it's a recursive chain where my cortisol spikes when his does, and it's kind of just like a loop.
Yeah, and it's like a butterfly effect because when RMB's cortisol spikes, mine does, and when my cortisol spike, um one of my other friends, which is in this call still, Toto,
Mhm.
his cortisol spikes again, like it respikes, like if it was already high, it was now like spaceship levels. Um, and it's a little butterfly effect, and it will never stop.
You know, I realize, guys, that for the second episode, we've actually reached our 15-minute time limit of discussion. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to say, guys, this video has really been taking a toll on our mental health, and yet we continue pushing on for you guys. So I think the
Yeah.
least you could do for me, Goatis, this second viewer, Batman GD, and this third viewer, Toto,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
could at least approve of our video and maybe share feedback in the text descriptors in the bottom, and maybe even reference this video to your friends, or um, make it one of your core memories.
And if you work hard enough, then you can maybe get featured in one of our videos, which will soon have more people. So we have more opinions, so we can get more like on track and make sure that all of our opinions are all the same.
Are up to
Exactly.
the moral standard.
I feel like we're not talking enough, if I'm going to be honest. Like I'm trying for my cortisol not to spike because I feel like we're watching way too much of the video and we're not truly expressing ourselves in the most, in the largest quantity possible,
Yeah,
And
I feel
mhm,
like a lot of
mhm,
details are being left out. But
exactly.
are there any closing thoughts that we have before we say goodbye to
Um,
the viewers?
I think Goatis should I think he should make sure that his variety of content doesn't spike people like Toto's cortisol,
Mhm.
so it doesn't have this butterfly effect of me, R&B, and Toto.
Yeah,
Yeah, matter of fact, I can feel my blood pressure rising right now and my heart rate rising. I feel as if I am going to quote unquote crash out, as the common Gen Z slang.
I've heard of that
Um,
slang.
yeah, me too, me too.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
my cortisol, I am trying to lower it right now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna laugh so I can lower it. Ha ha ha! Ha ha!
So,
I feel better.
as my final comment, I think Goatis should probably bone smash into at least HTN before giving
Mhm,
cortisol spiking content, so that
mhm,
he could really lower our cortisol and boost our oxytocin through primal hormones by
mhm,
looking at him
mhm.
and gaining a halo effect. That maybe he is correct, but that's probably something we're going to discuss in the third dialogue. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Are you guys going to say
Er,
goodbye?
oh
Oh,
yeah,
goodbye. Sorry.
yeah. Goodbye, guys. This video was really inspirational for me, and I hope for you, the viewer.
Toodaloo, guys.